very nearly about sailing May 2023. Sorry, I forgot what month it was from there. This one is all about doing loads of experiments using this air compressor. This is a Hyundai super silent oil-free model HY7524 24 litre tank, pressure 7 bar, blah blah blah, you can look it up. And trying it with one of these, which is it's actually a sandblasting gun, cheap one, but I was using soda, which is sodium bicarbonate, which is the proper, is NaHCO3, bicarbonate of soda, sodium bicarbonate, same thing, very inert, not very sort of powerful for small jobs. This is not a big compressor, so it's only a 24 litre one, so let's get on with it. I tried it on various things. I tried it on various sort of wood projects, some brass, some aluminium, even some felt. And actually, by accident, when I was trying to design something to capture the soda, I tried it on something that I wasn't even expecting it to work, and it's actually paid for itself. It's just one project, and it's paid for itself. Slight spoiler alert, I didn't really buy this for doing what I'm going to be doing most of this video. I bought it mainly for just using it with an air gun thing to just just sort of blast bits of dirt off things. So if you're looking to do something, do a lot more research and get yourself the size of one that you need. The super silent thing, it really is silent. I'm really impressed with this. It does exactly what it says it's going to do, but for doing serious soda blasting you might need to upscale quite considerably, and you certainly couldn't use this for sort of spray painting and so on. A lot of the stuff you're going to see in this video is to do with the piano renovation that I'm doing, simply because I had lots of bits and pieces to hand, and I had to go on various bits of that. So let's start off with a bit of the piano that you might recognise. Right, don't know how well this is going to come out, but I'm going to try on some wood. This is a piano key stick. It's not the piano that I mentioned in the previous video that I'm doing up, but I've seen soda blasting being used on antique furniture, and these are in relatively bad condition, but not too bad, so and they're about the same, so I shall do that one and see if it's any better. And this has got to be about the minimum test you could possibly have. Right, so here is sort of the before and after. I had to go on the ivory. By the way, that's paint down there, so ignore that down there. I had to go on the ivory. It doesn't clean it up quite so well, but there's a definite difference, and that was quite easy. I think, and I mentioned this before and I forgot to do it, I need to sieve the bicarbonate of soda. So yeah, it definitely works. Just for comparison, another comparison, this is a bit unfair. Here's a key of my piano. This one here, that I cleaned just using steel wool. And that's... Actually, let's do that. Let's have a go on that one, see what happens. Right, so I would give this a big thumbs up. This pair on the right, this is the more modern 1935 piano, and this is the before and the after. This is my piano, 130 years old. This is the before. Well, actually, it's not really before, because as I say, I cleaned that with steel wool, and that's as good as I could get. Where you really notice the difference is things like here, where the number of the key is. It's really, really brought it back to almost new wood status. Just a quick one to show you the effectiveness. This is my piano, this is the oldest, it's a 130-year-old piano, and I've done these two, that's middle C and Deeds tuning. And I'd already cleaned these were in a disgusting state. I'd gone over them with wire wool as good as I could, but the soda blasting, that's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, I think oh, how many of these are there? There are 85, 88 on a modern piano. Worth it though. I think that looks quite astonishing. Wood is, I'm beginning to like working with wood. I mean, it doesn't like me, but... Right, these are a pair of brass sconces, or sconces I think. One is worse than the other. That one is definitely worse. Again, these are 130 years old. I don't know, they've probably been cleaned, that looks like that's been cleaned with some sort of polish or something. I'm going to do the worst one and see if I can get it to be better than the better one. So I'm going to do that one. Right, so that's the one that's been done on the right, that one. Hopefully you can see that. It's cleaned it up magnificently. It's kind of made it look dull, so I don't really know that much about brass. Do I need to lacquer it? I think I do, but I will check on that, or I might just let it sort of age gracefully again. But yeah, so I mean, it's not perfect, but it really helps get into the little corners and things with this. So yeah, I mean, this is still very light work, but for light work it's looking good. There we are. I found a plastic cup which is just about the right size to sieve this into. And it also hopefully will make it easier to put through here. Still need to get a decent funnel, but that's good enough, isn't it? So I'm trying not to get in the way of the camera. I'm hoping that will just pour in, which it does. It was getting kind of clumped up a little bit before. Excellent, right, so let me make a bit more of that and start on the next project, which is the strings. So here's a job I definitely want to do. I don't want to replace the strings, but I think you can see on the bass strings it's a bit difficult to see. These copper, these bass ones here, that's quite sort of shiny-ish down there. But up around here, above where the hammers are, there's years and years of sort of grime and dust and so on, and I think you can see where the hammers strike. There's sort of a lighter line across, and then you can see where the dampers come in. Right, if this works, and it's a very big if, at the moment this is a coat hanger attached to the back of a chair. I will do something a bit better, probably in a half drain pipe or something, so that I'll guttering, so that I can actually recollect the stuff. And I'm wearing black gloves simply because I don't want to touch the copper with my skin. I'm going to get, I think, those gloves that referees at snooker matches use, just to stop it. Anyway, so this is sieved. Let's see if this makes a difference. So I don't think that was particularly a good success. It's the top one that you can see there that's actually been done. It's got some of the dirt off. It's made the copper go a little bit duller. I'm not convinced it's got a huge amount of the dirt out. When you look closely it does look a little bit better, but I don't know if it's worth the hassle of
taking all the strings off individually. Another option is to just take one end off and then give it a scrubbing with something. Don't know, just trying to get the bits of dirt out, because there's something called inharmonicity in a piano where a string isn't even in tune with itself, and the more that you can get rid of those effects, the better, the easier it is to tune.
Right, so this is just a random thing that I'm going to see if I can clean it. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's the remote steering mechanism from a 1908 America's Cup boat. And for those of you who do know what it is, you'll know that what I just told you was completely false. So you're no better off really either way, are you? Okay, let's see if I can clean it anyway. Right, so I have already vacuumed this and cleaned it off a little bit, twice. So let's see how well this does. Oh yeah. Right, don't tell people what this is, because I haven't told them, although I think it's fairly obvious.
What this is?
Yeah. This is literally a sailing thing. Don't spoil it.
A boat.
It's a self-steering from a boat.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is.
What is it?
It's water skis. One each. Strapped them onto your feet. Tiny water skis for behind the boat.
Water skis for a sailing boat. That would work well, wouldn't it? Right, let's see. Do you want to do that army bit that's sticking out? Just see if you can do
This army bit that's
that
sticking
bit.
out.
And to be fair, Lucy hasn't seen how this works or anything.
Point.
Point and press the trigger.
Hold the trigger. Do I need to cover my eyeballs?
It's up to you. It's sodium. No, what is it? It's bicarbonate of sodium. It's very safe.
So I can make a cake afterwards.
Yes, yes. Or if you have indigestion, you can de-indigestionize yourself.
Well, I did just go on a picnic, so you know.
Yeah, well there you go. There's only 6 minutes battery time left. Can you get?
Oh, it falls
you haven't
out.
done anything yet.
Ooh! Wow!
Good, isn't it?
Dude!
You might need to shake it occasionally. I've tried to get most of the
Shake it?
Yeah. So there you go. Idiot proof.
Rude.
I was talking about me.
I think there's lumps.
It doesn't last very long. I've got to build something to actually capture it. So there you are. That's proof you can just walk up and use it. And
I received no training and no health and safety advice. Which you could say about most of the jobs on the boat.
Right, at least you get some chocolate for that, believe it or not. There we get your chocolates all start. Right, so I've had to stop for the day, unfortunately, and it's going to rain tomorrow, so this isn't going to get finished for this video. But I think you can see that's the clear wood that wasn't dirty. That's the wood that's had a once over. That line, that will all come at least as good as that. These sort of metally bits, absolutely fantastic. That was all black and horrible. So I think the trick is to spray it until it starts recharging. As soon as the air starts recharging, go and sieve some more of the soda and then come back to it. Or the proper answer is to get a more powerful compressor. But I am both surprised and delighted. So I think in terms of revitalising old woodwork, he's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really pleased with that. So aluminium. I want to see if it works on cleaning aluminium. That's the next big task. Right, here's a particularly disgusting item. I'm going to wear gloves to do this. This is obviously the rocker cover off of a car. Yes, I am still doing the Honda Civic, and I haven't mentioned it for a very long time. And tell you what, I'm going to put a piece of tape down the middle of it, roughly down the middle of it. Right, so in all honesty, this is taking ages to do this. I mean, it is working, but it would be better, I think, to soak that in some sort of solvent to be enough. I'm just going to try a little bit on something that's relatively clean already and see if it actually shines it up a little bit. It's just not powerful enough. And I also need to have some sort of collection mechanism because I am kind of wasting this stuff a little bit. It's not hazardous in the slightest. It's not harming the environment, but it is a waste. So yeah, I'm going to leave that as it is for the moment. I haven't got any solvent, but I think I'll put some solvent on it, give it a jet wash, and then, to be quite honest, after that I probably wouldn't need to clean it up. It doesn't need to be particularly clean. But yeah, I think with a more powerful one, that would probably work okay. Right, one of the things I need to do, particularly if I'm doing sort of small items and lots of them, like the piano keys, etc., is to have some sort of way of collecting the soda that's otherwise just going into the world, the atmosphere. Now it's very inert, it's very safe, it's not like sort of throwing plastic beads or anything around, but at the same time it's expensive and it is a waste. So what I was thinking of doing is building some sort of a box and welding it with HDPE, and I've got tons of HDPE left from a rather unsuccessful attempt at doing a water tank. But I do want to have a go at plastic welding and making an HDPE holding tank, and although I've probably got tons to do both, the holding tank is more important, so I'm going to have to improvise and do something and do a bit of a test first because although it'd be great to do something with this, that's going to have to wait, but that is the eventual plan. So let's think of something I can do less destructive, cheaper. So until I know how much HDPE I've got left, this is actually just an old bin I've taken the side out of, and hopefully it'll capture some or enough of it. And I've got again another piano part. This is one of the dampers. It's a really weird shaped damper because of where it is on the piano. But I think you can see that. Can you see that? Pretty horrible, but let's see if I can collect some stuff while I'm cleaning it. Well, a lot of it's coming out, but I'm not sure how much it's saved, but it has saved some. I think I need a better design for this. It needs to be a bit deeper. But anyway, the principle is kind of okay-ish. Still learning, still having fun. And that cleaned this up really nicely, and in fact it cleaned the felt up. Now it's over £100 for a new set of felts because I didn't think I could clean them, but that is pretty good actually. I might have a go with a few more felts and see if that's acceptable. But anyway, that's for the restoration videos, which will be coming up at some point in the future. So I have no idea if these are the original 130-year-old felts or whether they're new ones. Well, new ones that have been put there since the beginning of the piano, but they're still dirty and dusty, and that's just shined them up fantastic. Now I've shined up my strings, I don't want dirty felts on them. And again, you can see it on here. Now the thing is, a new set of these felts, if you get them as a set, will cost you about between £110 and £120. And from memory, that's about what the compressor costs. So it's paid for itself just with this, and I really wasn't expecting this. I was expecting to be able to clean up the wood
on this, and this is all going to turn out looking very, very nice indeed. But you will have to wait to see that all of this would work down here and so on. It just needs a little bit of sparkling up.
So there you go, it paid for itself. Basically, it cost slightly more than what I was going to pay on a new set of felts. And I've looked at them, and not only are they a lot cleaner, but they're kind of fluffed up. And I've tried them on the piano, and they sound nice. This was a disaster, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change it, because what was happening is the soda was just being reflected back, and as you saw in the video, just bouncing out. So I'm going to do it slightly differently. I'm going to blast into this. I'm going to cut another hole in the bottom, and I'm going to have some gauze or something that will allow some, or perhaps cheesecloth, I don't know, that will allow the air to get through, but not the particles, because the trouble is, if it just goes into something solid, it bounces straight out. So, yeah, as I say, the lesson is, if you want to do some soda blasting, it's great fun, it really works. Get yourself a more powerful one than this. I'm not going to go into specifications and stuff. There's loads of things on YouTube and the internet. Hyundai do more powerful versions of this. In retrospect, of course, I would have bought a bigger one, but having said that, I was actually going to get a smaller one, and it was only because this was on special offer that I got one this size. I think I was going to get a 12 litre one or something, up to 24 litre one. Very, 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 very impressed with that indeed. And it's fun. And as you saw from Lucy doing it, you don't need any special training. It's quite cheap as well. See you next month.